Hello and welcome back to another video for DC Worlds Collide. Today I'm going to be making a tier list. We can see we're on tiermaker.com. I just pulled up a random one. I'm not even sure if it has all the characters, but what I do know is it's not going to have any of the rare or uncommon characters. None of the green and blue. It's just going to be the elites and above. So let's just get into it. So first up is Harley, and I'm not gonna put anybody in trash tier, right? But I'm gonna put Harley as low as I'm gonna put anybody, which is C. And Harley is a support character who's just RNG based. It's like, okay, at best you can have a 50% chance to give a back row ally something that is inconsequential in the long run. So, no, I would never use her. I swapped her out. She's nice in theory, but immediately, like level 2, I was like, no, this chick gotta go. Green Arrow is S tier, and I could probably put him S plus, but I'll put him S tier. I'm not sure I'm gonna put too many characters S plus, or we'll see if anybody gets S plus. But he's crit focused. He hits the entire enemy team with his ults, and he's got a freeze arrow. He's phenomenal. And likewise, Bane, phenomenal. He starts out phenomenal, being able to heal himself and do stun, possibly. And just as you rank him up and level him up, he just gets better and better and better. A tank who heals himself, gets stronger the more he heals himself. Insane. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna drop this one. But yeah, Batman's S tier when you're going up against a boss. I feel like Batman's A tier when you're going up against, like, I don't know. I guess he could really take out just one target at a time. But Batman is just one target, hit him hard, hit him harder, and then just beat the ever living crap out of him. Bizarro. Bizarro's bizarre in that he gives a flower and then shares damage with somebody else. So he takes heat off of them, which is nice. A lot of times it's your second frontliner, or your second tank, rather. And so that's nice. He also has freeze, which not a lot of characters have, but there is some synergy with like Supergirl there if you have her. And then frostbite and freeze, and so that's really nice. And he can heal himself, and anybody who can heal themselves is great. I want to like Bloodsport more than I do. I really, really, really want to like Bloodsport because he can put on block, and then the problem the problem with block is that you need block amount. He takes so long to rank up to get to where he can even add block amount to other heroes, and he doesn't have block amount, so you need a lot of things as stars to align where you're getting Bloodsport, you're getting good block and block amount gear, and you're getting him ranked up efficiently, and it's just too much work for something that is still a chance payoff, right? So, Blue Beetle is okay. I'm going to put Blue Beetle in A. He's a very anti-crit character. Weird tank. I never would have thought of Blue Beetle as a tank, but sure. But he's very anti-tank, which is great when everybody wants to be playing Wonder Woman, but she will fall off. And crit is great, but also at the same time, like, he's a one-trick pony. And I could even see moving him to B. John Johns, aka Martian Manhunter. Probably, you know what? S plus. And the reason being is he heals when other characters heal. Then his ult allows him to heal them when he heals. So you've got this cycling of healing going on, right? As long as he's not burning, he's healing. He doesn't do a lot of damage, but he gets more max HP, and that carries into the damage he does do and the healing he gets. So, phenomenal tank. If you want somebody who's not going to die, who's going to really, um, just self-sustain and help to keep the team alive. He's really good as a second support, if you will. I'm just gonna say that Red Hood should be better. He's got a weird gimmick based off of bullets, and you have to rank him up too much to make use of it. That's all I'm gonna say. We don't have a lot of team-wide heals in the game. She might be the only dedicated team-wide healer. Black Canary, especially in the early game, um, is someone I would focus on as your support. Especially, I got Kid Flash like day 2, but and so I replaced her with Kid Flash and did just fine. But I think she is solid as heck, solid, and she can stun. So right along with her, we're gonna put Captain Cold. He's a solid tank for the early game. He can add damage reduction to allies and stuff. Just solid. In that same vein of just being a solid defense, uh, Constantine is just a solid offense. He does come with the con of taking allies' life, so you're forced to pair him with a healer because the dude can really wreck your team by himself if you're not careful. So he does stay out of S and S plus because it's a significant drawback that you have to really it takes a lot to make it work, and if you don't have the right characters to help him, then he can go down pretty quickly. He might even drop to A, realistically, but A plus is solid because he does do just really good team wide damage. I think personally for me, Cyborg is an S tier. He is S tier if you've got a debuff team because he's applying extra damage, right, to everybody who's got a debuff. Then he's healing, doing damage reduction, giving immunity. Immunity cannot be understated. That when a couple of characters can't die is too good. So for that reason alone, his ultimate alone makes him S tier. Clayface is a very greedy hero, a very greedy tank. He's all about himself. He's going to give himself shields, take extra healing in, etc. You could argue that he's an A tier in the early game, especially since you do have access to Black Canary. But they're just better tanks. Deathstroke has a weird gimmick, and as we've established, I'm not a big fan of characters with a weird gimmick. He's another one you could argue could be an A, but he's just a very single target, crit focused. Can work off bleed, but I don't think he does bleed stacks himself, so somebody else has to do it. No. Yeah. Dr. Fate is kept out of S plus tier because his ultimate takes health away from the enemies, or from the allies, from his allies. And he takes a little bit, like, he has to ramp up into his damage, right? So his allies have to be low on health for his damage to be good. But if you can, manage to survive 3 or 4 rounds, he's gonna drop an ultimate that's just going to obliterate the enemy team. So, A plus, S, somewhere in there. Superboy. The kid gets stronger after every basic attack he uses, so that's solid. And he adds burn, which burn is something that works so that you every 4 burn stacks adds a or they detonate for a portion of damage, right? And that's fine. But seeing his ultimate adds a chance to add burn, and his basic attack only has 1 stack of burn, then you're looking at not applying it fast enough to really matter. So it is just the stacking of damage after every basic attack that's his biggest. When yeah, I think A is probably solid for him. Oh, Dr. Facilier or Dr. Phosphorus. Uh, Dr. Phosphorus is just bad. I don't even want to say like he's if there was if I was doing a trash tier, he would be trash tier. The reason being is I don't mind sacrifice. So my main team is Constantine and Pandora. I don't mind sacrifice. The problem is he needs to rank up to be good. And I don't feel like a hero should, or to for any of his stuff to even matter at all, you have to rank him up. And I don't feel like you should have to rank up a character for them to even be worth a spot on the team at all. Like, I think as you get them, you should be able to go, yeah, this character's good. As is, right here. It might not be the best he's going to be. It might not be top tier character, but he's good. I could use him in a circumstance. No. Two-Face just might be the weirdest motherfucking character that is in the game. But I think he's A plus. Um, you just got to know where you want to use him, and then you have to know what he does based on where he is, either the front row or the back row. I hope that in the future they make more characters that positioning matters. They made a whole big deal about positioning and whatnot, but here's the thing: like in PVE modes, yes, you can know like okay if you're going up against the poison ivy, then you're going to want to put your tanks in the back row for that one fight. Mostly though, it's tanks in the front row, everybody else in the back row, and just that's that. So especially if you're on a if you're going into PvP, you have to choose your heroes before you go into the match. So, anyways, love his mechanics, A plus. And Scarecrow is another one I'm going to say is A plus because of the fact that he starts out with being able to apply poison to everybody, which enables is a super enabler for poison ivy, and then it just gets as you rank him up, he just gets better and better and better. So really love him. Uh, I want more poison characters in the game. 3 is not enough. My personal feelings on Barry Allen is that he should be in trash tier. Realistically, I think most people would put him in A tier. That's where I'm going to put him. I've even seen some people putting him in S tier. I think he takes too long to get online. I think he takes too many rank ups and levels and whatnot. He's certainly not a character that you want to get as your first pick. I think you're happy if you get him late game and you have resources to instantly jump him up and then start his badge rolling and stuff. But for anybody under level 140, I think he's an easy skip. Can he get the ball rolling and like snowball on an enemy team? Sure, but it takes too much work. I don't like it. Is anybody talking about Frankenstein right now? No. Will I? No. Victor Freeze is considered one of the best solo tanks early game. You wouldn't think that not being able to move and being in an ice coffin is a blessing, but it's a blessing. So, yeah. Weasel is trash, and here's why. He wants to be below 80% health so that his three weak ass attacks, because he's a damage dealer, mind you, damage dealer, DPS, that's what they have, damage per second, DPS. They have labeled him DPS. In the tactician, mind you. So, okay, we start over. He wants to be below 80% health so that he can add bleed 3 times with his basic attack. However, he's constantly chomping on your front row ally, dealing damage to them to heal himself. He's of two different fucking minds. He can't make up his goddamn mind, and he sucks ass for it. I think Gorilla Grodd is pretty good. Um, I think he takes, like, he's better as he ranks up. Um, I want Grodd to be great, but I don't know. It's, he definitely needs a team of different debuffers. And then his damage reduction only lasts for 2 rounds, 40% for 2 rounds, I think it is. And then after that, where's his tanking coming from? So I'd call him a support more than a tank. I'm gonna put Huntress in the S tier. Uh, she's great for anybody in the early to mid game. Even I don't know, man. She's solid. Being able to crit and then keep using attacks because somebody died, like, phenomenal. As much as I like Poison Ivy, um, and she's great, she only hits the back row, which I think that's solid because she can get around tanks. I think that's actually a strength. She does add poison, and as you rank her up, it becomes more and whatnot, right? But she does really heavily rely on having um, somebody who can add more poison stacks than what she can add. And so, you know, I think she does decent damage, but it also has to ramp up, and yeah, we'll just put her in solid A. Kid Flash, I think, is S tier. His healing is single target, but he can heal passively and then with his ults, and I think that's just fantastic. He is one of the better healers in the game, and it just gets better as you rank him up, move into the badge system, etc. Lex Luthor is S plus tier, and why is Lex Luthor S plus? Because shields, shields, baby, shielding the whole team, and that's all I need to say about Lex. S plus, S plus. Killer Croc's solid. His damage just never quite reaches what it could. He does add some bleed, and he's good for early game, but um, easily out damaged, unfortunately. Jessica's gonna go in B tier, and she wants to be better than she is, right? She's good. She gets better if you use characters like the other lanterns who generate shields, or somebody like Lex who generates shields. Anybody who can generate shields, right, will help her to get better. But her damage is just so low with the shields, because it's 2% per shield, and I get it. It's supposed to stack up quickly, but on her own, and especially until you rank her up, she's just beat. John, on the other hand, is a solid A plus. For a lantern, I didn't expect him to be the defense, but being able to counterattack and add debuffs and whatnot, yeah, he's solid, especially if you do a um, lantern focused team. You could definitely replace somebody like Jessica, but not John. And similarly, I think I'm going to put Hal with John. simply because how can increase his damage based on shield power that he has when he uses his ult, right? But his shields that he gives himself is so weak. He needs somebody else to be giving him shields, and for that reason, he could even drop down to an A. Um, but I think the power that he dishes out is so strong. I'm gonna leave him an A plus. Mara reminds me of Batman, but better. Why? Why does her ult deal so much damage, man? Um, but being able to reduce incoming damage to herself and applying stacks of debuff is always great. So, um, yeah, really solid. Yeah, I think Black Mantis is fine. He has burn damage, which, again, burn takes some minutes. I prefer poison over burn, but whatever. It's solid. Solid, especially for um, early game if you get him. I think Mirror Master's solid for early game, but he's easily outclassed. So B tier is about where he's at. Wonder Woman's just solid damage. And so she's gonna go into S plus. Good crit on a crit focused team. She's like your best. So Nightwing has block out the wazoo. Block will do 20% damage reduction on physical attacks, and then the block amounts will add to that on all attacks, right? What makes him better over somebody like Bloodsport is he has counterattack properties built into his block. So when he blocks, he counterattacks, and that makes up for block amount being lack of. You can always add on block amount to make him even better. And then his ultimate just adds in stun and firm stand, which is phenomenal. This might surprise a few people, but I'm going to put the Bride in S plus. The Bride is for every sacrificial team the linchpin. She's who you're trying to get. If you're running Constantine, you're running Pandora, you're running Dr. Fate, these characters that want low HP characters. If she dies, she comes back to life. Not only that, she gets her HP sacrificed, she heals because she's a freaking zombie. And she allows everybody with her ultimate to do their basic attack. And as many of you know, basic attacks is where the shit's at. Yeah, ultimates are cool and everything, but basic attacks do a lot of stuff. They add, like, for instance, Penguin adds a poison stack. Superboy adds a burn stack. And when you're trying to build these stacks up quick, her just letting everybody do their or their basic attacks seems like it's weak, but in actuality, you could really stack this into a super phenomenal. Again, going just Constantine dispels a buff. There's just so much you can do, and really phenomenal character, in my opinion. Might be another shocker here, might not, but I think Ocean Master is phenomenal. Adding 50% block and block amount to characters, fantastic. The weaken and bleed stacks that he adds, fantastic. So, yeah, he's up there. Pandora, another one, S tier. I think that being able to increase her damage as she goes, she can heal other allies while doing that, and yeah, just unquestionable um, S tier. Don't get me wrong, I think the Phantom Stranger is good. I just think there are other characters that are better. He's a solid defense, but a weird one, and too much RNG involved. I think the Penguin is S tier. It's no secret that I like Poison. No matter the game, I like Poison. But the Penguin, his damage reduction is nothing to sneeze at. Adding poison on his basic attacks, nothing to sneeze at. And you can even level him up to where He's adding poison stacks when he's attacked. So I think he's a solid dude. Even if you're not running as a poison focused team, Penguin is a solid tank. I'm gonna say Deadshot's an A+. Um, he's not fancy by any means. His passive is that he just has a chance to counterattack or to assist an ally in their attack, and that's great. Um, his ultimate lets the enemy take more damage. Again, great. I think it's just solid. And if you defeat anybody you get with that has that mark on them from his ultimate, you get ultimate points. And economy is super important in a game where it's kind of stagnant. You get the same amount of economy each turn, and being able to get more is fantastic. So yeah, I think he's an A+ for sure. Raven is S, but Raven is for a more defensive team, where you're playing the long game, and you're like, okay, we're gonna use her ultimate here, and it's gonna take off, permanently take off attack and defense. Okay, so they're a little bit weaker. Now they're a little bit weaker again, and you just keep chipping away. Here's a debuff at random. Here's another debuff at random. All right, one of our guys got lost. She's gonna revive him, and it's just kind of this, we're gonna win the by war of attrition type thing, right? So it's a very solid character for a very debuff heavy composition, or a very defensive, composition. Red Robin. Red Robin is okay, for keeping a tank alive, for making your overall team a little stronger. He's a decent support, but I don't see many people running him. Robin is okay. He's gonna go in hard and fast, straight out the gate. Um, and he is gonna add bleed, but that's kind of it. He's gonna hit, you know, and that's just kind of it. Sinestro, we have to put up in S+. He's another linchpin. He's a linchpin for debuff teams. Be it getting extra progress, extra damage. Um, it, it's so drastic what he does to a team of debuffers that he's got to be up in S+. I think Starfire's an easy A+. The way that she can quickly stack burn and then snowball that into energy to stack, to use more ultimates and stack more burn is, yeah, solid. I'm adding Star Sapphire up into S+. Stunning an enemy and providing light healing, collecting healing for improvements on her ults. I think she's definitely a top tier character. I think I'm putting Supergirl in S, not because of what she is now, but what she could be. I think there's too few characters that add frostbite, so we'll go with that to start. Um, but there's also too few characters that add poison, and I've rated some of those high. But she's just so focused on frostbite. But when you get a frostbite team going, man, that character's fucking awesome. Healing and just yeah. Clark Kent's Superman. Being a tank was not what I expected, but solid S character. I think being able to do frostbite and burn and have damage reduction is nasty work. I really want to put Vixen higher, but the reason I'm not putting her higher is because of the fact that she takes too long to get going. I think once you can rank her up, to where her ult is doing more damage, it's solid, but her damage that she does is poor. The way that her ult works is just, oh, it's I never find myself using it. I do use her as a tank quite often because she does have solid damage reduction and some block amount. But yeah, I think that she could be better. She's one. If I was going to give a start with a balance, she would get a buff, and it wouldn't even be crazy. It would just be she would get a buff. Zatanna's dispelling of buffs and healing from that isn't even what I put her in S tier for. It's the armor break that lasts until the end of battle. If there was a character that I could see getting a nerf, it's Zatanna. Um, man, end of battle. Everything lasts one turn, it lasts 2 turns, but to the end of battle is insane. Superman DCU's ultimate is insane. Um, the fact that each hit applies a stack of burn, I think that's one that's going to because he hits an enemy 6 times, so that means they've got 4 stacks detonate, then 2 extra stacks. It's crazy. It's crazy. So for that reason, I think that he'll probably get an adjustment down as well. I don't know if they'll ever do nerfs or balances, but yeah. Anyhow, that's where I feel the characters are in um in the tier list, in the tier ranking. So I know that there's going to be a lot of lot of opinions. Be sure to drop them down below. Be sure to like and subscribe because I know you stuck out this long. You may as well leave a like and subscribe because there's going to be plenty more DC Worlds Collide content to come on the channel. So yeah, appreciate you watching. Till the next one.